today's video, we'll be taking a look at Darth Vader, or Anakin Skywalker, for the 2008 30th anniversary line. He was figure number 2. I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith was figure number 1. And between him and Vader slash Anakin here, they were some of the first action figures in 2008 to feature the stand here with the name. So you could tell that the line was towards the end at this point, and I think we only got, 15 action figures that include the stand as part of the 30th anniversary line. I have all the Force Unleashed ones reviewed on the channel at this point, and now it's getting to the first set of them, which is pretty much all Revenge of the Sith action figures. We had Obi-Wan, Anakin, Commander Gree, which I will get to here soon, Kashyyyk Trooper, and then we had some Separatists, which the Tri-Droid is the only one I'm missing out of the 2008 30th anniversary line, which I might go ahead and jump on here pretty soon, so that way I can complete the set, and then I'll do an entire video featuring every single one of the action figures. And there's the Tri-Droid, and then there was Poe Noodle, which was one of the Separatist leaders. And I'm trying to think who else there was. Oh, there's the Mustafar panning droid here in the platform, which was a very unique set. So for Anakin here, I'm going to call him Anakin because, I mean, there's really nothing that's really Vader about him. He doesn't have the Sith eyes or anything, as you can see. So I consider this more of a Anakin Skywalker action figure. And with that being said, I consider this to be the best Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith that we have to date, which is quite remarkable after 15 years at this point. The TBC Vader, which is probably more accurate to say is Vader, which I have right here, pretty much utilizes the same exact body, minus the elbows and then of course the head. But you can see the difference between the two. I think the 30th anniversary figure here looks far closer to Hayden Christensen than this one does. By all means, this is still a fantastic action figure, the TBC one, but I think 30th anniversary one here is much closer to Hayden Christensen, as you can see. So I will admit, this isn't exactly the 30th anniversary figure. In fact, this stand didn't even come with this action figure. I actually got this as part of the Saga collection, I think it was around 2009, 2010. And it came with this set of battle gear, as they called it at the time. Which at the time, I recall people distinctively being very annoyed by it. But as years go on, I think people have grown to greatly appreciate just how valuable the set of weapons were at the time, and I'll touch more on that a little bit later in the video. So like I said, this particular Vader I actually got as part of the Saga collection around 2010 or so, so that would have been during the Legacy collection. He has seen his share of repacks over the years between him and Obi-Wan both. Of course, the 30th anniversary was their first release. The Obi-Wan, I think, was actually part of the Revenge of the Sith line in 2005, and it was the Obi-Wan with the pilot gear that first utilized that sculpt. So 30th anniversary, then pretty much every Saga Legends line succeeding that, starting with the blue and white package, and then it went over to the orange and white, as you can see here. That's specifically what this one was for. And I don't know, maybe it had 4 or 5 repacks over the years, and to this day you can still find them for a pretty good price, no matter which version of this character you get. But anyways, let's just go ahead and take a closer look at him in the face here. So as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure this is the best likeness to Hayden Christensen we've gotten with an Anakin figure. I think that's really good. proportions are right. The paint looks really good. It's really crisp too. I'm not sure if the paint samples are the same for every single release of this character. I know they're all pretty close. In terms of his outfit here, it looks really good as well. I think the proportions look right. The colors look really good. And for the skirt here, he has the combination of both soft goods and plastic, as you can see, to allow room for flexibility, which is beneficial for this action figure. And for his boots here, so in terms of articulation, he has a ball joint in the head, which is really good. As you can see, he can look pretty much all the way up at someone, and can't really look down, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. The fact he can look up, I think, is impressive in itself, and that's because, as you can kind of see there in his head, his hair is a little bit hollowed out underneath to allow him to be able to do that. He has hinged shoulders, swivel elbows, which, as I've mentioned before, a lot of people have problems with that. I don't think it's that big of a deal for this action figure. I think you can pretty much get him in any pose you want still. And the cut of it looks pretty good no matter which way you angle it, really. So I think that's pretty good. Same for both arms. And he does have a swivel wrist here, and then for here he has a swivel forearm for his robotic arm. He does have, I think it's technically a joint at the waist there, but it's mostly swivel motion. Then he does have hinged hips, which is where the soft goods skirt comes in handy. And at the time, this was really innovative for Star Wars action figure to have hinged hips. And as you can see, you can pretty much get him in a kicking pose there. Looks really good. He does have hinged knees, then hinged ankles as well. So really good articulation for this guy. In terms of weapons and accessories, of course it depends which version of this character you have, but all of them do come with his standard lightsaber. Nothing much I can really say about that. It's pretty much the same lightsaber that I featured in every other Anakin video up to this point. And it fits firmly in his hand there. Then if you have the 30th anniversary figure, he will come with a Darth Vader stand, Revenge of the Sith. This is one that I've had that came with the set of stands I got back in 2008. So the name Darth Vader is not printed on the stand there. It's actually a sticker. Revenge of the Sith. Well, he does fit well on the stand, and even without a stand, he stands great by himself. So for these weapons here, which is the actual accessory my figure came with, like I said, at the time people seemed annoyed by it, but over time I think people have grown to appreciate as to what these contained. They were pretty much all the same for most of the era when Hasbro was giving out battle gear, but there has been some changes over the years. So this is everything that it comes with, as you can see here, which is just some extra weapons and as accessories. So we have the DC-17 pistol here. Nothing unique about that, but it's nice to have an extra. You do have the droid sniper rifle, which came with the aerial clone trooper and the Revenge of the Sith line. Another nice weapon. Battle Droid Blaster. Always nice to have those. And the DC-15 rifle. The other DC-15 rifle here. Then we have the droid grenade launcher, which I'm pretty sure this came with the Battlefront 2 Clone Trooper, or the Battlefront 2 Jet Trooper. And I know, yeah, the Imperial Jump Trooper, the second release, had this as well, and so many others, but the basic principle of this is that it is a battle droid grenade launcher. Very heavy duty weapon. So I have several of these at this point, and there are some other samples of the box here. It's supposed to be like a Clone Trooper footlocker, I think. And as you can see, it has the little bit of the brownish, orangish all around it with some wear and tear and scuffs around it. There are other variants of it. Here's an all white one with just some scuffs on it. Then we also had a more Republic focused one, which has some blue on it. So nice for Hasbro to include that. At the time, I was never annoyed by it because my clone commander, which was Commander Devis, was missing particularly the DC-17 pistol here. And I lost that years ago, back around 2005, 2006. So when I first got my set of battle gear here, it was like, oh, that's so cool. Now I can finally replace Devis's rifles. And there's a few other clones here and there where I ended up replacing their weapons because of the battle gear. So it's been handy to me over the years. And now I have a surplus of them. So if at any point I decide to change out some of the weapons on any of the action figures, I have the means to do so. So what else can I say about Darth Vader here / Anakin? So I think this is my personal favorite 3 3/4 inch Anakin / Vader in my collection. I think it's a fantastic action figure all around. Would I recommend it for your collection? I totally would. If you can only have one Anakin Skywalker for your collection, this is the one to get, as far as 3 3/4 inch is concerned. It's the best likeness to Hayden Christensen out there, in my opinion, and I think it would be hard to compete with this. Of course, whatever TVC can do these days will probably be far superior, who knows. Sometimes it's hit or miss on that, but even then, he's still an affordable action figure. You could probably find him for $20 or less, brand new. So not too bad for a 15-year-old figure at this point. And he pretty much does everything you can want out of an Anakin. He doesn't have a robe, and he doesn't have an unignited hilt, unfortunately, but those are accessories that anybody can pretty much find laying around and just stick on him if necessary. Like, this is a robe I usually have displayed with him. Just an extra one I've had lying around. So it's a solid action figure, one of my personal favorites in my collection. I've had him ever since 2009 or 10. Pretty sure it was 2009 actually. So he's been in my collection for 14 years, and I cherish him to this day. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will be lots more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate your support. And check out some of the links in the description as well. As always, thanks for watching.